Rodney O'Keefe Purvis, born February 14th, 1994. Ever heard the term surefire, or the more often used, can't miss? I think you already know where this one's going. Today's feature is a guy that was truly both these things. I may have said it before, but this one, as the kids would say, is big facts. Wait, do they say that shit anymore? Whatever, look. Rodney in 2011 was seen as the next John Wall. He even resembled the NBA All-Star, shared the same hometown, and drastically played the way he did. But what Wall had was transcendent. A copy is never as clear as the original, unless you let Kobe tell it. Let's get into why Purvis's basketball growth was stunted. Yo, it's your boy JC, Stunted Growth. Let's get it. Just a quick note to my subscribers, we got a few more weeks left in the PS4 giveaway, so if you want to enter, just hit the subscribe button and watch this video in its full length. Let's go. Stunt number 1, in the words of Aubrey Graham, the eager beaver could be the collapse of a dam. And collapse it sure was. Salute to Hindsight for helping me tell this story, and salute to Blake the Great for this request. Forget a dam, this was the collapse of a bridge. Purvis, as mentioned before, is a Raleigh, North Carolina native who had the type of high school career players dream of having. He was 6'4", strong, crafty, attacked the rim, and finished like the point guards that were coveted at the time. Remember, this was 2010 to 2012, the era of big athletic guards that played exactly like him. I bet schools couldn't wait to get their hands on this type of player, and Rodney knew it. This led him to make a drastic mistake that changed his career path forever. You see, in 2010, Purvis reclassified from the 2013 class, a class that would have gave him time to develop and also make him one of the top prospects that year, seeing as the Harrison twins were the best guards that year. He was a lot better than both of them if you ask me. You see, Rodney believed his own hype and wanted to join his fellow North Carolina native in the NBA as soon as possible. This decision, as small as it may seem, led to many downhill happenings in Purvis's amateur career. He would go on to graduate high school in 2012 as the Gatorade Player of the Year, McDonald's All-American, Jordan Brand Classic participant, and co-MVP. He was Mr. Everything. He was first committed to Louisville until Coach Tim Fuller, a coach he had great respect for, went on to take a job at Missouri, the first in dominoes that fell around Purvis. Had he kept his commitment to Louisville, who knows what would have happened there. Instead, he reopened and decided to stay home at NC State. But this was just the beginning. More pieces of his bridge would begin to crumble at his new school. You see, what Rodney didn't realize was that he was committing to a school the same year another NBA player that was under the radar was in TJ Warren, the same guy that would be the reason for Purvis's next domino to fall. TJ was a flat-out scorer who wound up taking Rodney's starting role at NC State and forced Purvis to transfer the following year. As a freshman, Warren averaged 12 points per game and was an all-ACC freshman, while Purvis averaged just 8 points per game and 1 assist. While Warren would go on to explode in his sophomore and final year in college, averaging 24 points per game, Purvis would be on the move, transferring, where he'd have to sit out a year. Things were not looking good and was about to get worse. Stunt number 2, inefficiency. Rodney was once this highly coveted recruit that made some really terrible decisions, man, and it's really sad. The thing about bad decisions are, they pile up and cause players to lose confidence. Losing confidence is a huge ingredient to becoming inefficient and losing minutes on the floor. This was exactly what happened. Purvis would go on to transfer to the University of Connecticut, a great place for him to land, seeing as they really didn't have a point guard or any player that was big time in name and play. A school coming off highly touted guards that were all legends at the university and a program known for placing guards in the league. This was a place I thought he should have went from the beginning, but Purvis was exposed greatly at UConn in his first playing season there. He shot worse percentages 3 years removed from high school than he did fresh out. This was a bad look for a guy who had lots to prove to scouts. On top of that, he only averaged 11 points per game that season and 1 assist. That's horrible for a point guard, or any type of guard, combo guard, deluxe guard, supersized guard. That shit won't get you fed. I'm sorry. To make matters worse, he shot, get this, 53% from the free throw line. Let me say that slowly. He shot 53% from
the fucking free throw line.
And this wasn't the first time doing so. He shot 51 at NC State. Nah, son. Those numbers will get you written off. Fucking sack, like Bloody Loco.
Recognize that shit ASAP. Fucking sack. Bloody Loco.
Purvis was wildly inefficient and it cost him. Whether it was lack of confidence, dedication, or nerves, that's plain unacceptable for a guy that just sat out an entire year and was supposed to be one and done. Stunt number 3, the boat just left, fam. Can you swim? Rodney Purvis missed his boat. Long gone. He was hoping to walk in John's footsteps and be this star player, one and done phenom, but that ship sailed from the time he decided to reclassify and go to NC State. Had he averaged 12 or 14 points per game at UConn as a freshman, he could have left there after 1 year relying on hype alone, but that didn't happen. In his third playing season in college and second for the Huskies, Rodney shot a little better, but was still an underachiever that had no real knockdown jump shot and lacked leadership skills, which was evident seeing as his teams were trash every single year he was the captain of the ship. Yeah, they made it to the tournament, but that's not the glory we're used to. We're used to seeing smaller guards like Kemba and Napier take them to the promised land. What's worse, his points per game averages went up just 1 point from 11 to 12 points per game. There was literally no one stopping him from averaging 30 there. No one but himself. He averaged just 2 assists per game that year and shot 62% from the free throw line, while completely falling out of the conversation for being drafted that season. Forgotten. In his final season at UConn, to his credit, his free throw percentages drastically increased to a respectable 81%, but his three-point percentages dipped along with his field goal percentages. He played an astonishing 36 minutes per game and only upped his scoring to 13 points per game from 12 points per game previously. He wasn't even the best player on his team. Nah, that would be another guy that I'm sure will find his way on this screen in Jalen Adams. Purvis was all but done as having any shot at the NBA. Needless to say, he went undrafted in the 2017 draft. This was a guy with so much clout leaving high school and uncanny comparisons to John Wall, but just flamed out. He would sign a few 10 days with the Orlando Magic, and in March 2018, he'd stick with the team for the remainder of the season. He played 16 games that year and averaged 6 points and 1 assist, and also shot 25% from 3 and 32 from the field. He did shoot 86% from the line on a positive note. He was then traded 2 months later, only to be traded again, waived, traded, and then waived again in like 2 days, later being added to the Miami Heat's G League affiliate. The league moves fast, man. Not sure if Purvis will ever see the NBA floor again. If he wants to, he'll have to shoot a lot more consistently and work on getting others involved. Sad, because I really thought this guy had next, but hey, he still made it there, and who knows what the future holds. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.